Hello, I'm Rick from Robot Mowing Solutions, and today we get an opportunity to look at the Navimow X3 robotic mower. The Navimow X3 robotic mower can be used for larger properties like this. This is about 7-acre property. We have 3 of these running. Notice it actually slowed down a bit because it actually seen me. This robot uses multiple different technologies to locate itself. All right. One of which I'm going to demonstrate in just a minute because I'm going to stand in its way. It's going to come back down here, and it actually uses a radar system that it will actually identify me as a person. It will identify over 200 different objects. Now notice it stopped before me and is now going to go back. I'm going to get out of its way. That is one of the technologies. There's 3 other technologies. One is RTK technology. That is a satellite using an antenna and the robot to triangulate its location. That is using GPS RTK technology. The other technology is a vision system where it actually maps the entire property in video format. It uses that radar system I demonstrated in conjunction with that, and also then it measures when the wheels are rotating, how far it is going. So it uses all of those technologies to locate itself. And on this particular property, which is a lot of open areas and a lot of wooded areas and a lot of hills, a lot of diversity, this robot can do all of those different types of areas. So let's look at the second part of the system, which is the charging station. Second part of the system is the charging station or base station. The charging station or base station is where the robot returns to every hour and a half to 2.5 hours, depending on what size unit the robot is. Now, size relates to how big the batteries are and the motors that are in it. The physical size is the same. But it will come back here, it will plug itself in automatically and charge. Now, this charging station or base station has been upgraded to have a garage on it. Now, this garage is special, can't just be any garage, because it has got to allow the satellite signal to pass through it so that when the robot is here, it can see the satellite. The same satellite, the third part of the system, the antenna sees. Now, often the antenna is hooked directly to the charging or base station, but because this is such a large commercial property, we had to remotely locate the antenna. And so let's take a look at where that's at and how we did that. This is the third part of the system, which is the antenna. This antenna is way up on the top peak. Doesn't need to be there, but it was very convenient for us to put it there, which then gives it great coverage of the large area this robot is covering. So let's back up. I'll give you a bigger perspective of where this is. Just to give you a perspective, we are less than 1/3 of the distance away from the building that this particular robot covers. The antenna that I showed you earlier is way up on that peak, way over there. Now, it doesn't need to be that high, but for convenience sake, this worked out very well. There's actually a second antenna on that peak that covers a different robot. And then there on the end of that ridge is another one to cover the other robot that's way in the back. Now, because this is a commercial application, it wasn't close to the base stations, we actually remotely mounted the antennas. Often they, again, are attached to the base station. So this just gives you a perspective of the area that a Navimow X3 can cover. This is the wonderful app that comes with the Navimow unit. You can have this on the phone, or they will soon have a whole fleet management program that you can have on a desktop or laptop. This program allows me to have communication with this. I know exactly where it's at. I can control it. I can send it home. I can change the directions in which it's mowing. I can change the height at which it's cutting for each section. So you divide it up into work areas. So you basically have 3 different things. You have work areas. That's where it's mowing now, which you've seen it in the background. You also have stay out areas. The stay out areas are beds and so forth that you don't want it to go in and mow those areas, so it protects them. And the final, which is really important on commercial applications, are what are called channels. The channels get it to remote locations. Like the robot that mows this hillside over to the south of me, the station is actually right here behind me, and it actually goes out down the sidewalk across the parking lot, and we do this at correct times, and then goes and mows that hill at a remote location. So it's very important for commercial applications. So we set this up, and you don't have to worry about doing all the intricate stuff. So we most often do that. So that kind of sums up the whole system, from the app to the antennas to the base station, charging station, to the robot. So all of that works intricately so that you don't have to be out there mowing the properties or hire people to mow the properties. Again, one of the big things on the commercial side is you don't have to have big storage areas for this. You can store this on a shelf during the winter. So it is just a great application for robots to be used in commercial applications so that they are maintained well. So I'm Rick from Robot Mowing Solutions. We want to thank you for joining us today. Thanks for watching.